The punishment is taxing for a question about waxing. A law professor at Howard University is now being labeled a sexual harasser because of the content of a question he put on an exam. The question detailed a hypothetical situation in which a customer at a salon claims she fell asleep during a Brazilian wax and was touched inappropriately. Two of Professor Reginald L. Robinson's students complained about the question, which led to a 15-month investigation. Howard University took objection to a word in the test question. Now, be warned, I'm about to say this objectionable word. Please cover your ears if you're easily disturbed. Howard University took objection to the word genitals and sentenced the professor to sensitivity training. Now, I'm no Esquire, but I'm pretty sure during the course of any lawyer's career, they hear words a lot worse than that one. And then some of them have to actually study crime scenes. That's a lawyer's job. If they can't handle that, they can't be my lawyer. Watch something fun like this instead. Clearly, that dog is guilty of cultural appropriation. Shannon, I think this is a huge story because it signifies a victory against speech by punishing a person for using words pertinent to their job. I mean, how can you go to med school if these words are going to be if you got to open up a cadaver? I mean, this is going to be a microaggression.
Well, first of all, if I read that test on one of my law school exams, which I did not, no one falls asleep during a Brazilian. So first of all, that's just completely unrealistic.
That was my exact
Mark, how do you know this?
That's not.
Mark's nodding. Yes, I know.
Yes. No one nods off. It's like, oh yes, I nodded off during a root canal. Like that's not happening. I was a sexual harassment attorney, not meaning that I sexually harassed people, but I was involved with those cases, and there is so much worse in the world. When I was in law school, I was just trying to survive semester to semester. I didn't have time to lodge complaints against professors like this, and if you're this delicate in law school, you're never going to survive.
No one's going to hire you.
In a courtroom, no, it's not going to work.
You know, and Mark, in Canada, they just passed a law that makes it a criminal offense if you use the wrong pronoun.
That's right.
So now they're forcing you to use words.
Yes, if you misgender a transitioning person,
you're screwed.
You're not sure. I hate all the safe spaces, the microaggressions, the triggering and all that. I do think it's a bit odd. I mean, there are words in this question that you cannot use on this. There are phrases in this question that we cannot use on this show.
Right.
And it seems to me a bit odd for a professor to put them in a legal question. So I don't think he should be, deemed a sexual harasser and his career destroyed.
Yeah.
But to quote, and I believe this may be the first time this man has been mentioned on your show, the eminent 19th century, early 20th century English jurist Lord Moulton.
Of course, Moulton.
Yeah, well, Shannon's obviously Shannon's familiar with him as a legal analyst.
I wrote a paper on him.
He said the most important part of life is not what's legal or what's illegal. It's the 80% of life that's just in the realm of manners. And so we shouldn't have the idea that everything here is either legal or illegal. Either you get it right or you're deemed a sexual harasser. I do feel uncomfortable, not quite as uncomfortable as during that last Brazilian wax I had, but I do feel uncomfortable if it were my daughter being given a question about different types of Brazilian wax, which is what's at issue in this question.
Interesting. So that's unusual. So you're talking more from a manners rather than a legal standpoint.
Yes. It can't all be laws.
Yeah, but okay. Let me ask. So, Kat, you work in publishing, in magazines. So do I. If I'm in a meeting and I'm dealing with like a layout of a pop star and we're talking about body parts or whatever like that, there could be somebody in that office that felt like I had microaggressed them by saying we need to do this or do that.
Yeah, and you would lose because now if you're offended, people automatically say you're right because they don't want to get sued, and that's basically what's been happening. But, they were specifically offended, not by the descriptions of some, maybe, but by the word genitals, which I'm sorry I said it. It's in science books, okay? It's a word that if you're above the age of 3 or you at least have a concept that it's going to play a role in your life, you can get over it. You can't be a human without thinking about the G word existing.
No.
And you can't be a lawyer. I mean, some people never shut up about it.
Is that what are we meant to say, the G word?
And you can't be a lawyer without being able to handle the fact that there's sometimes people in the world who do bad things. Your job is dealing with people breaking laws or potentially breaking laws. That would be like being a police officer who's like, I'm scared of guns and vests. But I'm still gonna do it. Or like I said, I'm a doctor, but I'm a germaphobe, so I refuse to see any patients. I mean, maybe it's just not the job for you. There are approximately infinity other jobs. Feel free to choose one of those. Hey, come on.
Tyrus, let's say you're reading a script for a movie, and the dialogue and the dialogue troubles you. What would happen if you went to the screenwriter or the director and you go, you know, this line you have me saying, I know it's what the character would say, but I just don't feel comfortable. What would happen?
They would say, that's a great point, Tyrus. Very happy to do that. We'll change it immediately. And then as soon as I walk out, they're like, get his big ass out of here.
Coming up, who's the better tipper, a Republican or a Democrat? I'll give you a hint. I've left a $100 bill under your TV right now.